My name is Jon Bruney, and we have a vision to bring hope through an interesting means. And what that means is a ministry called Pressing the Limits. And what we want to do is remove limits from people's lives by using strength feats to demonstrate the power of the gospel, the power of what can happen when people begin to understand that they don't have to live a life with limits. Now, we've been performing for around 15 years, and it's been an interesting process of how that's come about. Everything from setting world records by pulling trucks for a mile, which was a great event to bring communities together, and we've done that on several occasions, to also going into schools and businesses and churches and showing people that there is real power out there, and that they don't have to live a life that somebody else has said they have to live. Well, kind of how we got started, a gentleman approached me one time knowing that I was a strength athlete and said, "Would you ever consider coming to our school?" And so naturally that progressed, and from that very first venue over 15 years ago, getting into the schools has been a very positive thing. We've got to watch how it changes the lives of people. So many students around the United States don't have hope. In fact, they really don't have any kind of dream for the future, or if they've had a dream, it's been snuffed out or crushed. And what happens is when we are able to come in and tell students that you can do anything you want to do, all of a sudden you see a difference in the change of demeanor, their facial expressions change, and a lot of kids that walk in slumped over walk out with their chest held high, believing that there's something greater that's out there for their lives. Now, we have been in schools all over the United States, all the way down from South Carolina on the East Coast all the way to Wyoming, headed out west. And we've always seen a positive response because, again, there's something about the message that makes it unique. And it's all about believing in yourself and knowing that if you focus, no matter what you've been through, no matter how you've been treated, that there is hope for you, and no one can put limits on you except yourself. And when students understand that hey, no matter what's been done to me, I still can rise above that and accomplish my dream, I can still become whatever I want to do, that's the kind of hope that we want to bring to students. You know, one of the things that was definitely meaningful to me was to see change and hear stories of students' lives actually changing. In one of the schools that we performed in, they had a group of boys that were particularly discipline issues. And as they attended this show, all of a sudden their behavior in school began to change, their grades began to change. And so the teacher asked them, "What's going on?" And they started telling about the show. "I need to focus. I need to be an uplifter." And they started reciting ideas back from the show. And so they made a deal with those students that every week that they would be on good behavior. In other words, they weren't being sent to the office, they weren't having discipline problems. If they were good for a whole week, then on Fridays, I could come in and have lunch with those students and just be able to sit and eat with them and let them share their stories of how things were going. But that's the kind of commitment we have, and that's why we do what we do, because we want to see change lives. I mean, anybody can put on programs. Anybody can be a part of a program. But changing lives, that's what it's all about. Well, what we want to do with every event is tell a story through feats of strength that relate to students. For instance, in the beginning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be breaking big stacks of concrete bricks with my hands, and sometimes even set on fire. And everybody in every place would always testify that they need a breakthrough in some area of their life. Maybe it's with their grades, maybe it's with their self-esteem, it could be with a family relationship or other relationships. But when they see something demonstrated, it makes it real to them. Another thing that we do is we tear up phone books, and we illustrate that motion of tearing up a phone book, we hold up the two pieces and show all the names that were affected by one action. And what we talk about is each student needs to understand that their actions affect everybody else. And so that's a powerful message for them to grasp. Then there's another feat which I lift my wife up with my head, and I'm supporting 2 huge weights with each arm called lifted up. And the idea is that we can either lift people up or pull people down. And it's a lot easier to pull people down than to be a people lifter. But that's what we want students to be encouraged to do, to come out and say, I want to lift others up. I want to have a part in that. There's other things that take place, everything from driving a nail through a board with my hand. And we talk about the focus and intensity that it takes to do that, and how a lack of focus can be disastrous. We break drill bits, we bend solid steel bars over my head. That illustrates the whole fact that no matter what the bars are in your life, if you feel like you're in an emotional prison, those bars can be bent back and you can succeed no matter what your past, present. The future is great. So again, every feat is handpicked specifically to tell a story to relate to a student in some area of their life. Different things will resonate with different students. For instance, some students will want to come and they'll want to have the nail that was driven through the board because it meant something special to them, or a reminder that they need to focus. Almost every student wants to take home a piece of brick because it's a reminder that they can have that breakthrough, but they are the key to making that happen. And then there's students that want a piece of phone book to remember, hey, I am influencing others and my decisions and my choices do matter. They do make a difference. And then we hand out the steel bars. Everybody has something that they relate to. But many students, and there's always a request, like to take the bent up frying pan. One of the things that we do in the program is we roll up a frying pan and we transform it from a frying pan into a burrito cooker. And the whole idea is a lot of students feel like that pan, that maybe they feel bent up, maybe they feel abused, maybe they feel put down, maybe they feel tossed aside. But one of the things we tell them is that pan, no matter what the condition it's in, still has value. And that's one of the things that we want every student to leave with. They are valuable. They are a person of value, and that has a real chance to help them lift that self-esteem and to be reminded that they are very important and they have a purpose and a dream that needs to be accomplished in their life. One of the ways that we gain credibility with the students, in other words, a student is asking, why should I listen to you, is some of the achievements that we've been blessed to be a part of. We've been on national TV, everything from the Today Show to America's Got Talent to Guinness Book of World Records Unleashed. Having these media opportunities gives you credibility with students. And then beyond that, some of the individuals that I've had the chance to work with and the opportunity to train, everybody from NFL football players to Olympic wrestlers, this gives you credibility with the students, and they say, here's somebody I'm going to listen to based on what they've done. That gets your foot in the door. And then all of a sudden they go from what have you done to what you are doing and the changes that are happening in my life. But credibility is huge with students today, and that's why we do what we do.
I still have a piece of the phone book. You can do it.
The frying pan was my favorite. You can do it.
I can do anything I put my mind to. You can do it.
I don't have to believe what people think about me. You can do it.
I know I can change my situation. You can do it.
I can look for friends that value me. You can do it!
You can do it! You can do it! We rock! We're awesome!
So now it's your opportunity to hold on tight because you're about ready to go into a world with no limits. So get ready to see some of the greatest feats performed on the earth and be inspired.